What's up, everybody? It's the Hardy Construction. You can find us on Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook, as well as Instagram with your host, Komp and
Poodle Water.
Today's film is
Laid to Rest 2009 and CHROMESKULL Laid to Rest 2 2011.
Yes.
Double feature.
I decided to put Danny through a horrible time with the double feature of Laid to Rest 2009 and Laid to Rest. CHROMESKULL Laid to Rest 2 2011. Never forget.
These colors, these chromes will never run.
So let's go with Laid to Rest, the first film, which was directed by and written by Robert Hall, starring Bobby Sue Luther, Kevin Gage, Lena Headey? Yeah, Lena Headey, right?
Yeah.
Lena Headey, Sean Whalen. He was...
Now, she was already Queen Cersei at this point, right?
No, she was in... We'll get into it. She was Sarah Connor from the Terminator television show. A role picked up by Daenerys later on in the horrible Terminator Genesis. Anyway, it also stars Richard Lynch, Jonathan Chase, Thomas Decker, who was also in the Terminator television show. That's why they're in this film. Because I believe
is the special effects guy like from that show or something?
Yes, we have a history of watching. We haven't had a good history, that is, of watching horror films directed by special effects guys. I can't think of any of the names. I know the bowling ball one. What was that called? Gutter ball.
Oh, yeah.
Gutter ball. There was that weird one about the.
There was the one with the leprechaun, Warwick Davis, Skin Deep, Skin Deep is the one with what's her face?
What was the one with the muscular guy with no head? But that was a cool, that movie had great effects, but it was just a bad movie.
Wasn't that the one with Warwick Davis?
Yeah, I think that was
Skin Deep.
Okay, so anyway, so this is another one of those type of films where a special effects guy has enough money to make his own movie, and then you realize, you should just stick to making special effects. That said, I had seen parts of the original Laid to Rest, and I misremembered all of it, because I thought Lena Headey was in this movie a lot, I thought Thomas Decker was in this movie a lot, and watching, and I was like, this is horrible. I thought it was like porno for guys to watch, like women getting torn in half and stuff.
Which and I mean, I love that, but I like when it's the real deal. I like that.
That's the thing. When I was describing the movie to Danny, I was like, well, these women get cut in half, and he was like, hold on. Anyway, but I misremembered it because I was like, when I was watching, I was like, this movie isn't as awful as I thought it was. And then I saw the sequel, and I was like, well, I guess by comparison,
you know what the problem with this movie is that
it was made.
Well, it's just not. There's nothing about it that stands out at all. Like, it's like every horror movie trope in one movie with really good special effects, but a horrible script and horrible acting and horrible dialogue.
With the thing, a defense of Robert Hall is that he did. Let me see. What did he direct? I think he directed the remake of. Remember Wreck?
Yeah.
I believe. Let me see if
Quarantine.
He did it. Well, no, he hadn't. Okay, never mind. He didn't do anything with Quarantine. Forget it. I thought he directed the remake Quarantine, which was actually a decent remake because it stuck mostly to the original film. Anyway, so, well, let me just read what he made. Memento Mori, Fear Clinic, Teen Wolf, the TV show, Fear Clinic, which is, I guess, a TV show, Laid to Rest, Lightning Bug, and Behind the Sting. Okay, so he didn't make anything
I love lightning bugs. They brighten up the night with the iridescence.
What really drove me to this film was the design of the main bad guy, CHROMESKULL, which is a pretty bad name, but he has a pretty awesome look to it. Although, if you really think about it, it's not necessarily anything that special if you really think about it.
It's kind of cool.
It is cool looking. That's what makes it cool, but there's nothing about him that stands out. See, here's the thing. With Jason, let's say he's like Jason Voorhees or Michael Myers, right?
Yeah.
They still frame Jason and Michael cool. Here, the camera work is so tight on CHROMESKULL, you never really get anything foreboding or scary about him. He's not...
Yeah. There was one cool part in the second movie, actually, where
we'll get to that.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Don't worry about
I've skipped ahead, everybody. I'm so sorry.
Let these people suffer through both these terrible movies. But CHROMESKULL, there's nothing about him within these films. The way they frame him is not very intimidating. Obviously, he's a giant man with a skeleton face, and that should be scary. But there's nothing really sort of You know who's the guy that always plays Jason that we goof on him all the time?
Oh,
I forget his name.
Wade.
Wade.
Something Wade.
Anyway,
I don't know.
The guy who plays
who
Jason.
Who cares what his name is? It doesn't matter.
The guy who always gets upset when they don't give him proper credit for playing Jason Voorhees.
I mean, he's the best person at wearing a mask.
And walking around.
Kane Hodder.
There you go. Anyway, so there's nothing really particularly that stands out about CHROMESKULL. I was going to call him Skeleton Face, which is, I think, a better name. But
that would be a little better.
Actually, I do like the name CHROMESKULL, and I do like his look. I do like that he sort of looks like, you know that...
What about if they called him Metal Mask Man?
You know what I was thinking? What if he became, like, something happened to him, like, he became mentally disabled, so then they call him Numbskull. That's very offensive, I'm sorry. Anyway... I do like his look. He sort of looks like, you know, the Hitman, the video game, sort of that bald guy, but instead he has...
It reminds me of Donnie Darko a little bit, actually.
Yeah, you're right, like Frank, right.
Yeah.
So he has a skull face. He looks cool. Anyway, so the way this movie was made, I was actually looking behind the scenes because there's no trivia for it on the IMDb page. That shows you how much they care about this movie, I guess. What happened was Bobby Sue Luther, who plays the girl in the movie, the main actress.
Is she's the producer, right?
Yes, because what happened is I was looking at the interview for it, and apparently she went to Robert Hall. So producing means I guess he put money into it. So she put money into this film. And she obviously, I think she said that she went up to Robert, the director, and she said, hey, let's write this movie together. But then seeing it, she kind of let him just write the film. And then she gave him the money, obviously, to star. So she was essentially... giving him the money. I don't know how much she bankrolled this film, but
so it's a vanity film.
I think so, because she gave him like I guess a certain amount of money, which made her like locked in to be the lead.
Well, the one thing that redeems her in my mind is that in the beginning of the second movie, she showed her boobs.
You know what's funny about the second movie? It's not even the same actress, so you can tell behind the scenes he kicked her out of the movie.
Oh, is that true? Oh, that's sad.
It's not even the same actor. Listen. She's such a terrible actor in this movie. It's astonishing how bad of an actor she's in this movie. She's in other movies, and the only thing is she's like, there's like some big spoiler or twist at the end that she was a hooker. Like, oh my God, I can't believe it. She's a hooker. Oh, end the movie right now. I can't believe it. I thought she was a God-fearing woman.
I would never have propositioned her.
Like,
because
what kind of,
it goes against my moral fiber.
What kind of twist is that? That like they're trying to make it like for me, the way I took it. Is that like why is this innocent girl being chased down by this serial killer? Like to me, it feels
not
like
so innocent though.
Yeah, like oh, she's a whore. She deserved it. It's like what? Like what the hell is that? Like so what? She's a hooker. Who gives a shit? And like that seemed to be like the driving reason why she was like hunted down. And plus, this also is sort of a film like we find out in the second movie, although we don't really find out what this is all about in the second film. But this movie starts out sort of like. CHROMESKULL has a cool gimmick too, so it's quasi found footage because he has like a little camera over his shoulder, which looks pretty neat.
Yeah, but I don't understand. Like what they don't. There's so much they don't explain.
He records his murders and he sends them to the police. This is
what does that have to do? What does that have to do with being unfazed by horrible pain and being able to get stabbed in the eye with a needle, and then at one point he stabs himself in the eye on purpose for no reason.
Also, his eye is detached, but they happen to fix it for the second one. Here's the thing.
And then he, gets shot in his metal mask and blocks it without even like getting knocked backwards.
Here's the thing. I don't think they knew what the fuck was going on with that because I don't think the writer knew about all that bullshit with the organization in the second film because none of that's in the first film. They just happened to have him in the second one. They just wrote a way to anyway, we'll get to that. So this film starts out with like weird editing and footage. Like cuz this movie's editing is a little strange. It's not horrible, but it isn't the best. Cuz I remember I looked 56 minutes in, there's a bizarre edit of the girl.
Sorry, say that again. I missed it.
56 minutes into the film, there's a weird editing glitch where the girl like moves back and they just it's the same scene. Like it's a throwaway scene. It's like her standing up. Then it cuts to like a different take of the same scene of her moving back, and I was like, "What was that? Like, what just happened? Like, do I have a CHROMESKULL? Did something happen to me? Because it was awful." Anyway, So Bobby Salute, who plays the girl, she's this woman who wakes up in a coffin, where she likes to call it the dead box. I've never heard.
Oh God, the dialogue was so bad.
Here's the thing. Everybody else in this movie talked normal except for her. Everybody else had normal dialogue, had dialogue that you think real people would say. Her dialogue was like,
she was like the dead box. The bad man took me. The crying.
He's coming to make me dead. He's coming to make me dead. I was like, what the fuck is she saying? Like,
it's like, okay, yo, you got hit in the head.
Yeah, she got a concussion.
Like, knock your brains out your ears? Like, what happened?
She got a concussion. Did CHROMESKULL know where to hit her to destroy her fucking, her facilities to speak English? Because she sounded like a fucking 9-year-old kid, and I don't know if that's what they were going for.
Also, CHROMESKULL is, like, horribly sloppy for a serial killer. He just leaves somebody in a thing like that, and, like, they could just get out that easily.
So
like,
anyway,
what?
she gets out of this dead box, as she says. I do not understand what the fuck that is. Who's the guy? Richard Lynch. There's a guy who, like, you've seen him in everything. He's one of those actors.
What was that? The mortician?
Yeah, the mortician. I was gonna say coroner, but you're right, the mortician. And Richard Lynch, who's still alive. He's been in everything. He's one of those guys that has one of those weird faces. Let me just.
How dare you shame his face?
Yeah, but it's like really like one of those guy movie actors. I'm trying to see if there's anything that I can see. He was in Invasion USA. Oh boy, he was in.
Oh no, he's dead, man. He died.
Oh, on IMDb it says 1940 he was born. It says no. Hey, you're right, 2012. Well, sorry. So he was in a lot of movies. Was this his last movie? I hope not.
I hope not too. No, his last movie was he was in Lords of Salem.
Cool. Okay, then good. He was in a good movie then. Well, not according to Danny, but that was a good movie to me. So anyway, this girl wakes up at a funeral home. She finds all these dead bodies. She runs out, and actually, she finds the corpse of the mother of the guy, Steven, the guy played by Sean Whalen, who's in a lot of stuff as well. He was Sean Whalen, the nerdy guy in the film, the guy who uses a computer. He was famous from the milk commercial. The guy who's eating like peanut butter, and he has to win a phone call. I mean, he has to win like a radio call. He has to say Aaron Burr. You've never seen that commercial? It's like the most famous milk ad ever. He's like eating peanut butter.
It.
Yeah. He's eating like a peanut butter sandwich, and the guy says, "You can win him like $10,000 if you know who shot who the hell was it, Hamilton." And he goes, "Brr, brr." It's super famous. If you were like knew anything about the 90s, that was like a super famous commercial. I guess
I was not alive in the 90s. No, I wasn't.
So, she walks out in the road. She's walking around, stumbling around. She gets picked up by Kevin Gage, who's actually a very good actor. Guy.
Although they give him the dumbest dialogue and like character development.
I did like his character a lot. I did feel bad for his character. It was weird because you're supposed to root for the girl, but I really didn't give a shit about her because her acting was so bad. I was like, somebody's got to.
I don't know, man. It was pretty dumb.
So Kevin Gage is playing this guy named Tucker, and he picks her up in his car, and he's like talking to her normal. He sees her like mumbling and stumbling around in the street. He's like, "Oh, so what's your name?" And she's like, "Oh, put me in the dead box, bitch." And I was like, "What the fuck? Like, wouldn't you be like, are you all right? Like, what happened to you?" He's not asking her what happened to her. He's asking like, what's her name? What she's into, whatever. I guess he's a down home type of guy. Anyway, so he brings her home. There's Lena Headey, who's Cersei from Game
and she's
of
also
Thrones.
in a really good Dredd movie.
Yes, she is excellent in Dredd. And she's playing Cindy, who's his wife, and it was cute to see. She's a very attractive woman. She's like super.
It's weird seeing her not like a complete cunt.
Yes, she's like got the southern accent. She's a little bit cunty in the beginning. Remember, she was like, "Who is this?"
Well, she's ripping on him, giving him a hard time.
And the thing is, when you really think about it, like in those little, because she's like a very foxy chick, and like when you think about it, like there in those small towns, there are like hot wives that are like stuck in the middle of the boonies with like goofy guys and shit like that. But she's super hot, and do you know she was dating?
She's got one of the only vaginas in this whole town.
You know she was dating. Oh, that's funny. Hole. That's what you meant to say. That's very funny. It's not sexist at all. So, did you know on Game of Thrones, I think she dated Bronn? You know the guy.
Oh, really?
You know Jaime's right hand man, I guess.
Yeah, no, I know exactly who Bronn is. So they dated in real life.
She dated Bronn in real life, and apparently they had a really bad fallout. So they not even on the same scenes, or they're never on the same set at the same time anymore because they hate each other. Could you imagine? You got to bone Lena.
That's crazy.
So, worst comes to worst, Stoneface comes around and He kills Lena Headey 5 minutes into this movie. I was like,
I couldn't believe that. I thought she was going to be the star.
Yeah, I realized once the opening credits and it says "and Lena Headey," I was like, oh, okay. So apparently she must have did this.
That's what they did with Dan Aykroyd in Twilight Zone.
She and Thomas Dekker did this, I guess, movie as a favor for what's his face, for the director. And they just show up in this film. And Thomas Dekker comes around at the end. He actually fulfills a bigger role in the second film. Thomas Dekker is an interesting guy because he was the star. He was the John Connor of the Terminator, the television show.
I heard that show was so good. I never saw it,
That's what I hear, too. But I was so turned off by Terminator 3, I just never wanted to watch anything related to Terminator. And I gave it a chance. Why
did everybody hate Terminator 3 so much?
You know, it's not a horrible movie. It's actually one of the better action films I'd seen. But then I was just like, you know what? Following Terminator 2 is a tough thing to do. Like, honestly, it really is. Because Terminator 2 is like a perfect sort of sequel.
Yeah, and the first one is like so amazing too. Like,
right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard. So then I saw, Terminator 4, Terminator Goes to Africa, whatever the fuck it was called. What was that movie called? Judgment Day or some shit like that?
No, T3 is Judgment Day. One.
No, the fourth one was called Terminator what? Terminator
Genesis or something?
No, that's the fifth one. The one with Christian Bale. Anyway, I saw the one with Christian Bale. It was it was terrible. And then I saw the last half an hour of... I was watching the beginning of Genesis, and I was like, I saw it like 10 minutes. I was like, turned it right off. And then I had it on TV, and I saw the last half an hour. I was like, I can't believe people... I guess nobody saw it. Because then I was like, I can't believe people saw it, but nobody saw that movie. It was terrible. It was, like, bad. It was just, like...
My brother is, like, the biggest Terminator fan.
Oh,
he said it was horrible.
Oh, poor brother. Well, at least he's got a new one coming out with... James Cameron is co-writing it, so that can't be too bad.
Wait, James Cameron's on it?
He's co-writing, I believe, or producing it very, like, tight to the chest with the new Terminator 6, I believe, and the director is the guy who did the first Deadpool.
Is Arnold involved?
Yes, he just started filming this week, I believe. And
it
stars. Cool. It's directed by the guy who did Tim Miller, the guy who did Deadpool 1. So at least it's gonna have really good, special effects and really good. So but I think the Terminator's Mexican in this one, so I'll be interested to see what it is. Like, imagine it becomes like a right wing movie, and then you see Trump destroys the Terminator by putting a wall on it.
You see Trump on a tank fight and kill the Terminator?
Because this destruction of the Terminator is going to be terrific. All right. I'm horrible at that voice. Anyway, so Thomas Dekker, who is in this film, well, he's been in a lot of stuff. I don't want to I don't want to say it wrong. I believe he's bisexual or something. There was a big deal about his sexuality or something.
Why does he care?
No, but you know how people are with fucking, when a handsome guy comes out or whatever. Because I think he was molested as a young child. There was
He's Welsh. Oh wait, no, his grandpa's Welsh. Okay, never mind.
But the thing is, he looks like a glam rock star whenever he's not like he puts smoky eyeliner on and shit like that. He's like one of those actors.
I think he might just look like that. Like the way Richard from Lost did.
I was watching the premiere for this movie. Like, they had when you stand down and you're taking photos, and it was him and Bobby Sue and the girl from Terminator, the other actress, the one who was in Firefly. I forget that girl's name. And he's standing there. He's like the smoky eyeshadow. He has prettier eyes than the girls. It's pretty funny. So he shows up in this movie. He has a shaved head, shaved eyebrows. I did like the way that they sort of found a way to explain that in the second movie, for no reason. They just put that in there, but I like that's a nice little touch. Anyway, so he's not even in the movie until the last 15 minutes. So Lena Headey's character is dispatched 5 minutes in the film by Chrome Dome. And
wait, say that part again. What?
Lena Headey is dispatched within 5 minutes of this film. And
Chrome
Skull, is coming after them because she's saying, "Oh, my brother's gonna come pick me up." Who I swear, I thought. When I was watching
it's very poorly written because they don't even get into that. They just show them for 2 seconds and that's it. And you're just supposed to know that that's who that was.
I feel like I was going nuts because I was watching the ending of Laid to Rest 2.
Yeah.
You know the FBI guy that comes out at the end and he says, "Oh, we'll take her in the car," and whatever. He takes the blonde girl in the second film.
Yeah.
He looks just like the brother in this movie.
I was thinking that I thought that he was the bad guy's team or something.
I'm sure they'll find a way to write that.
They don't even
Yes, he's playing a different guy. I knew it was him. I was looking at him and I was like,
oh, they really? Okay.
It's the same act. The guy who gets killed in the first movie, he's playing.
They don't even like explain the motives.
Right. Okay, we'll get to that because let's just wipe through this first piece of shit first. Anyway, so she's waiting for her brother to come. Her brother, like, I guess he had seen Tucker driving with the girl earlier. Yeah. And he comes in with his girlfriend to go find out, what if his brother's like cheating on his sister. And he gets dispatched. Graphically, it was pretty good. The gore graphics are pretty good.
Yeah, no, the special effects are the only part of the movie that's like pretty solid.
Yeah, that's the problem with these special effects movies is that the special effects are fantastic, but like you just
why don't they hire a fucking script writer?
I mean, that's what they do in a normal film, but here they just said fuck it. So anyway, his girlfriend gets killed. I mean, whatever, who cares? So basically, the whole film is just them chasing the Tucker and the girl.
And then they meet up with the fucking guy from People Under the Stairs.
Yeah, they find that. That's how you remember him. Yeah, they find Steve, who he's an actor. Sean Whalen. He's in a lot of stuff. He's in a lot of shit. He's just one of those guys, those actors where you're like, what the fuck? Like I explained the peanut butter commercial.
They gave him the dumbest script. Like he said, "Oh sugar" at one point.
Yeah, because I think he's supposed to be, But here's the thing with this movie. It's not horrible. This first one is not bad. I don't think it's bad. You're right that it does basically everything.
I'll basically forget it by tonight.
Yes, but it's not the complete and utter clusterfuck the second movie is. We'll get to the second movie. But anyway, so Steve, Tucker, and the girl are, they're going around. You don't know the geography of where these people are driving. Because they end up at the funeral home.
We just know they live somewhere where apparently there's no cops for 100 miles and they don't have phones.
Yeah, and the whole big thing is they came from Miami. So they're driving from Miami to wherever this place is. I don't even know where the fuck this place is. But the geography is all fucked up because they drive from one place to another. They circle around back to same areas. And I'm like, what? Like, wouldn't you keep driving somewhere else? Like, where the fuck are you guys going? Yeah. And they just keep ending up at the same place. They end up at the big prison siege where they end up at this small town county jail. And they can't afford cops in this movie, just like they can't afford cops in the second film. I guess the film just can't hire actors.
Well, the second film had a lot more actors in it.
Yes. There's a whole scene where five detectives show up with no police. Police show up before detectives do, but I guess in this universe that doesn't happen. Anyway, so they
well, in this universe, a man wearing a metal mask can inexplicably get stabbed in the eye and all these different things and feel zero pain from it.
And this movie does have like that weird fucking. I'm telling you, it does have that shit where like it's for guys to jerk off watching women getting brutalized.
Right.
Because there's like there's very specific sequences where women get cut in half. And listen, I'm no fucking huge like, oh my god, you can't show any women dying on film because whatever, who gives a shit. But there's something very leering about it. Like Stoneface is running around and he's like cutting this woman.
Stoneface.
I'm just gonna keep calling names. I don't know. Like cutting up women, and then he carves the word piggy on them. So this makes you think it's.
He's trying to break the glass ceiling
by shoving the woman right through it. But he's like carving piggy, and then you're like, what is his? Because if you just watch this first film, you're like, okay, so he's just a pervert. Like he hates women or something.
Well, he's not even like raping them. He's just killing them.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have they don't have to necessarily give him a motive, but then they make an entire sequel entirely about how he has a whole organization and they don't explain anything about it.
And remember, he kisses a corpse on a slate.
Right.
And that's not explained either. Although I think it is sort of explained, whatever, and we'll get to that. So this whole film is with the three of these people, and it's like the dumbest sort of throwaway thing that how he's defeated in the film, because the guy Steve says, oh, look at this, like he opens up the box where I guess this guy had glue. Like I don't think they all knew.
Yeah, what kind of fucking glue is that? Also, I've never heard of such a thing.
Like I don't like. Plus, it's a shitty glue because that fucking mask kept falling off his face every 3 seconds. But like, I don't even know what possessed him. Like I don't think they. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. I don't think the three of them saw him like glue his mask back on. Like I don't think they saw him do that a lot.
Roach, the guy from Under the Stairs,
he saw that.
I didn't see it, but he put the glue on the mask, and then it shows the guy put the mask on. He doesn't know there's glue on it, but the way they edited it, it made it look like he put the glue on the mask and then put it on his face.
No. What Steve did, he fucked with the chemical inside the glue. I don't understand why he did that. He must have known that the guy glues his mask back on his face because he just saw the box with all that shit in there. Because he picks it up and goes, "Oh, this glue, I used to blah 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 and burn the hell out of something." And then he added like an element to it, and I'm like, "But how did he know he was gonna use that glue?" Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
He just sort of fucked with the glue and then put it back in the box, thinking, "Oh yeah, he'll grab this glue and put it on his face." Like, how the fuck did he know that was gonna happen?
I didn't understand. I was very confused.
No, he messed with the chemical equation of the glue. Like,
I didn't realize that the guy was already gluing it to his face. I thought that he just put it on his face and it just stuck.
Yeah, no, he kept applying this glue onto the mask and putting it so stand. He's got to get a better fucking glue. I got to tell you that.
Why doesn't he just get an elastic string to hold the mask on his face, like the way normal people do?
It would mess with the aesthetics. Yeah. So anyway, the whole big goofy ending is that CHROMESKULL puts on this shit on his face and it melts his face like really badly.
Yeah, like the guy from Hannibal.
Enough for the fact where
or what is it called? Hannibal. What's the sequel to Silence of the Lambs? Hannibal, right?
Yes. This guy, Chromehead. He fucks his face up so bad for the fact that, like, you can't imagine that he'd be a sequel because he fucks his face up so bad and then gets hit over the head with a bat.
Yeah,
like, I don't like they could have done this movie so much better. Like, and it was just like a throwaway thing. He just puts on.
If
the
you
mask
got hit in the head with a bat that hard, you would definitely not be alive, or you'd be brain damaged.
His face was like mush, so I'm sure it would have been easier to cause even more brain damage.
In any case, all right, it's a movie.
Wait, but they should have fixed this movie. They could have done so much better with this movie. Like, I don't understand. It just seems like it was obviously low budget, but it was fun. Not fun, but it was okay. That's what I mean to say.
The special effects were all really good. I loved it.
But they could have just, used the title, because the title "Laid to Rest," I don't understand. It sounds like a grave, like going to a funeral home, which like is like 5 seconds at the beginning.
Yeah.
They could have done so much better. Like, imagine if this movie was like about a man who wasn't breastfed. And then you can call it "Afraid to Breast." Or what if it was a movie about a young homosexual man who was looking for a hotel to sleep in because he had a job interview in the morning? They could call it "Gayed to Rest." Or if it was about a priest and he was praying for his most sexual desires, and it's called "Prayed to Molest." All right, thank you. I wrote those down. Anyway,
that was a good one.
That was a James Gunn joke. Anyway, just kidding. Yeah, so we're moving on to the sequel.
We're not famous enough to take down.
So wait, Thomas Dekker comes out. His best friend gets killed. Whatever. The kid from Terminator comes. He factors more in the sequel. I like the guy who comes out of the store with the gun and he gets killed anyway. These people have guns and they still get killed.
Yeah, and that's so stupid. It's like his reason for coming out with a gun was because he saw a text that said, "Bring my video out, bitch."
Well, I could understand if he thought, because she looked like she was in trouble. So I put it two and together that he looked at her and he thought she was like an abused woman. So
yeah,
he figured he was going to shoot the guy or whatever.
I would never ever defend anyone.
Anyway, so this movie ends with Chromehead getting his face smashed out, and they call the cops, and the girl goes into the car with Thomas Dekker's character, and they drive away into the sunset.
Imagine the sequel.
They don't decide to call the cops.
They bring him back, and he's in Ninja Turtle world now, and he's Metalhead.
Anyway, so they decide not to call the cops at the end of the movie. They just drive away. Anyway, so the sequel to Laid to Rest, which is CHROMESKULL. Oh boy.
What?
No, I'm just saying it's CHROMESKULL. Like you talk about.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's terrible. It's not good.
How does this movie begin?
There's like a special team of people that work for this guy. I think they were like ripping off Saw, basically.
Oh yes, that's what I was gonna say. This movie becomes Saw. It becomes a Saw franchise.
Yeah.
But without, like, the Saw franchise sequels are bad, but they're not this bad. Like,
I mean, I like some of the Saw sequels are pretty cool actually. Like, not all of them are bad, but like, this is just like ripping it off, but like it's not even like good, and I don't know. It's just like there's a point where the guy leaves people in a warehouse and then goes and gets a tattoo.
Yeah, that was really ridiculous.
What was that? Like, I couldn't even believe what I was seeing.
The funny thing about it is the guy who played Chromehead, like, that was his body getting the real tattoo on his chest. Like, he really got that tattoo. They just made believe it was Brian Austin Green getting the tattoo.
Oh, that's cool.
which is fine. You know what I mean?
So wait, how do you find that trivia?
That was on the second one. There was no trivia for the first one. That's what I was saying.
Oh, okay.
So Chrome Skull, Laid to Rest 2, stars Brian Austin Green from Beverly Hills 90210. Thomas Dekker returns. Mimi Michaels, I believe, is the main girl Jess. Owain Yeoman, who the hell is that? Who's King? I guess that's the cop. Okay.
Right.
Danielle Harris, who has like recently become a scream queen. Like, she stars in basically direct-to-DVD
She was his,
films.
like, assistant lady, right?
Yes, she started out in Halloween 4, I believe. She was a little girl that...
Oh, shit, she was in The Last Boy Scout.
That Michael Myers was chasing around. I hope it was to, kill her, not to do anything worse. She was also in, I believe, Hatchet 2 and 3. She plays the main girl that... She replaced the other actress in that film. Anyway, so I still can't believe that the fucking brother in the
Don't tell Mom the babysitter said, wow, she was in some good shit.
Yeah, she's in some good stuff. She's also very cute, but she still looks too young. Anyway.
Yeah.
So all these...
And she's from New York.
Oh, good for her. So all these, like, black-clad, not government types, but, like, corporate types...
Yeah.
They find Chrome Face and they decide to fix him because I guess he's paying their
Bring
bills.
him back to life. What
He's
I
obviously
understand
the boss.
is...
It's weird because they say when I this is a movie I also misremembered because I thought there's a bunch of like Chrome Skulls are running around.
Yeah.
But it's just him, and I guess he's their boss. So he's the number one. And he pays them to do whatever the fuck he wants.
But what's the reason why? They don't explain it.
If you just look at it in a broad sense, I think he's just a rich weirdo that wants to hurt women, and that's it. And he just pays these people to...
I guess, but
why
can
you
you imagine, like other people? Like,
no, I'm sure that, I'm sure there's people that do this in real life. There has to be people that do this stuff.
I do it, but not on this scale.
They don't do it, like, in this Hollywood level where he has, like, 7 people to just, like, walk around with him, and, like, he has a woman book, like...
He only communicates through, like, an old cell phone messenger?
That's the thing. I didn't like that they didn't keep that. I loved in the first film, I actually really thought it was creepy and awesome when he would, like, type out on his phone and a woman's voice, like a computer voice, would come out and talk for him.
Yeah.
That I really liked, and they got rid of it in the second one. I don't understand why they did that, because it was, like, actually really cool that they didn't... It was probably...
I don't know. The second one was kind of a big mess.
You know, it's a big mess in the beginning of this film when they show the ending of the first film. Mm-hmm. You know, the girl when she gets into
the car. Reacted it, but they did it, like, worse?
No. So they had the girl from the first film. Obviously, she was not in this one. I guess maybe they might have had a falling out, or the girl realized, she probably wanted to have a bigger role, and then the director was like, nah, no thanks. I couldn't find any article talking about why she wasn't in the sequel.
Yeah.
But the opening of the film, it's the same shot from the original one, but I guess they must have used footage of just him, because she's completely cut out of the scene. Like, you don't see her in the scene, and they dub her voice with a different actress. I guess the girl that, like, does her voice, the girl who plays her character, because he's like, where do you want to go? And then you hear, well, I should go this way. And I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, because you don't see her in the frame, but you hear a bad dub. And I was like, what the fuck's going on? Right. Anyway, so then, like, I was watching it, and I realized the girl's face completely changed, but not so much because they just basically got, like, a girl with, like, light eyes and black hair. By the way, the thing I'll say about Bobby Sue Luther, or whatever her name is...
They do show her boobs.
The thing I'll say about the girl from the first movie, like, she was terrible in all her acting, except for the part when she was, like, horny and about to fuck Chrome Skull when he hits her on the head.
Oh, she was great at that part.
That was the only time when she acted good. Like, she can play a horny person very good.
I completely believed her in that scene.
Anyway, so this one, they dispatch her character very quickly. They just get rid of her character. And Thomas Decker's running around scared shitless because there's an organization with Brian Austin Green, of all people. He played, like, the first recorded, I guess, Wigga on TV. Like, one of the white guys who's obsessed with, like, black culture, and he's trying to be cool, but he's, like, a total nerd. Oh, okay. That was his character in 90210, and he is, like, do you know he's also married to Megan Fox?
Yeah, I was reading that.
And
good
what's
for
weird
him.
is that, but can you imagine, he gave...
Well, actually, maybe not good for him. Maybe I feel bad for him.
Here's this. He gave Megan Fox some of his Brian Cox. See, because Brian Cox is an actor. That's a very smart joke of mine. Anyway, he, like, well, that's the thing, too. When he was dating her, I think she fucked Shia LaBeouf while she was dating him. Oh, could you imagine your girlfriend fucks Shia LaBeouf? Ugh, disgusting.
But anyway, he's doing that. What's the one where he's like, "Just do it"? You ever see that? Like, so Shia LaBeouf is fucking her, and as she's like taking off her clothes and stuff, he's like, "Just do it."
But then I guess he got her pregnant, and they divorced, and they got back together. Poor Brian, Megan Fox. I feel bad for her. She
seems nuts.
You can't judge her, but like, she like chopped her face up. She was so nice, but you know how
did
Hollywood
she?
is. Yeah, if you look at her when she first came out into Hollywood, because I think she was in a movie with like Hilary Duff or one of those. She was like one of those girls, like a young actress. Yeah. And then now her face is like something else, like somebody else's face, sort of like Olivia Munn.
Oh, that's so sad.
If you look at Olivia Munn when she first came out, here's not me judging women's face because they're still very pretty.
Olivia Munn.
Yeah, Olivia Munn was like a G4 TV host. Like she was and then she's like one of the most gorgeous women on TV. But then she went under the knife too. Here, we're not to judge. Listen, I've had my own surgery.
Everybody should just feel very secure in themselves and not have knives cut into their skin.
But here's the thing: if that's what makes you feel better about yourself, then please do it.
Yes, that's true.
I'm just a disgusting male pig.
Everyone should be allowed to do whatever they want. How about that?
So don't listen to me. I'm full of shit. I'm also very hideous, so I can't make this judgment.
He is hideous. I am too, but not as hideous.
So Brian Austin Green in this film, he's playing Preston, who I don't know why, if you're a serial killer, you would hire this guy. I guess obviously people who would help you do this stuff would be like an insane person, but he's sort of a...
I wouldn't listen to this guy. He doesn't even talk. Would you listen to somebody who only communicates through a phone?
And I actually found the character refreshing in a way, that he was just sort of like this pissed off guy who works for a serial killer. I thought there was a lot of potential with that, sort of to make it funny, but they just go nowhere with that in this film. It's just obviously so stupid. It's just like, I don't know what they were going for with the sequel, because obviously they were trying to set up like a CHROMESKULL versus CHROMESKULL fight. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't matter.
They did it for like 2 seconds.
Not even, because he's busy while he's trying to kill one person. CHROMESKULL kills him from behind. It's like they were going for such a weird fucking sequel with this movie. It made absolutely no sense what they were doing, because
and then what the fuck? It ended. He's in like Hollywood.
Yeah, like that's some big revelation, like big fucking deal. Like I didn't know where the movie took place, so I didn't give a shit they were in Hollywood.
And his wife is like the worst actress.
Who? Megan Fox?
Did you see the after credits scene?
Oh no, I did not. What happens at the after edits?
Oh,
that's right. I heard he did have a wife. I didn't watch the ending credits of the movie.
Well, it shows CHROMESKULL like walking on the Hollywood Square, talking to that assistant of his, and then after the credits, it shows the detectives showing the wife like what her CHROMESKULL did.
So they find out who CHROMESKULL is. Okay, so they find.
Yeah, they know he is, and they find the wife, and then the wife grabs the detective's gun and blows her brains out.
Okay, whatever.
And that was pretty sexy, and I did get a boner at that part.
So were they were in like a large, affluent, rich house? So that's what.
Wait, what?
I mean, were they like in a rich house or something? So like that explains that he's like a rich guy that does all this crap, this weird shit.
Well, she said that she hadn't seen him in over a month because he was on a business trip.
Oh, so it's probably like a whole... You know what this is? Like a cheap version of Hostel. You know where Hostel, you just rich guys come in and they just kill people for fun because they like it?
Yeah. It seems like a cheap version of Saw to me.
Yeah, it's a cheap version of Hostel and Saw. They should call it Hostel. Anyway. So in this one, Chrome Face is being put back together. Meanwhile, Preston seems to be pissed off that he's working for a boss that doesn't, I guess, appreciate him. So he, in a sense, wants to become the new Chrome Head.
Wait, so he goes and gets a fucking tattoo in the middle of killing?
That was ridiculous. He was able to get it.
How did he find a tattoo artist on such short notice?
And, like... He warped back to the place. Anyway, so this movie has a different protagonist, this blonde girl named Jess, who's going blind, and she's there with her mom, and she's going blind. That's about as important.
And they don't even do anything with that.
No, she doesn't. I think what they were trying to do is, because like the first movie, Tucker had a limp, right? Which I thought was good because he's an able-bodied guy. I'm sure like he would have fucked up CHROMESKULL, because CHROMESKULL is not like superhuman or anything like that. And,
except that he could get stabbed and shot multiple times and be okay. That's true. And also lift up full-grown men and hold them in the air while dousing them in liquid.
That's true. And Tucker limped. That's the only thing. When you become a detective in the police squad, you actually lose a lot of weight. You become half of a ghost. That's why you're able to lift people up that easily, or be lifted up that easily. Anyway, so like the reason why Tucker was limping, they gave him sort of this handicap, so it wouldn't be so easy for him to kick CHROMESKULL's ass. And in this one, they give it to this girl. They give her like near blindness.
But they don't even do anything with her blindness. What would be
because
cool,
it seems like she acts like she can't see shit, and then like
she sees everything.
She's perfectly throwing cell phones into guys' hands. You know what I mean? She sees like dead bodies like pretty clear, even though when she first wakes up, she sees just lights and shit. And you're like,
it would have been cool if they like did something with her vision with the camera or something. I don't know.
They did like 5 seconds, like not even 1 second. It was just like lights. It was nothing. They didn't do shit with it. So she gets she's being pursued by Chromeface, and then like Thomas Decker's character is freaking out because his roommate. I read an interesting trivia about that. His roommate, when she gets killed, she's actually played by twins in that scene because it's done in one take where Chromeface stabs her, and then he like does something, but it's still like the camera hasn't moved. And then the camera moves with him into the room, and it's the girl who played the roommate, her sister, is on the floor with full like gore effects. So it looks like something interesting happened. So I thought that was nice, but it wasn't really worth the effort, honestly.
Synopsis. It looks like we don't have a synopsis for this title yet.
So, like, this movie is basically it jumps around like the first one, but at least the first one it was sort of cat and mouse chase sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? This one,
and also in the first one, he found out where these people went from this tiny little screen that showed a random car. How does he know it's that car that is like at this house 10 miles away? Like,
I have absolutely no idea. And in this one,
there's so many unanswered things in this.
This one is such a jumbled mess fuck up of a movie. Like, it's just like the whole like Preston character doesn't make any sense in the film. Like, I understand they're working for CHROMESKULL and they're trying to show it just doesn't, because you got to explain.
CHROMESKULL himself is barely in it.
Because I guess you can get I know, like if you make a sequel with the main bad guy, let him like I get shit because I liked Jason Part 6 because it wasn't even Jason. It was like a different guy killing people as Jason. But in this one, at least the guy was dressed up as Jason.
That's the mental institution one, right?
Right. At least the guy was dressed up as Jason, and you don't know it's Jason until the very end, so you can get pissed off after the movie. But the whole time you're seeing him Jason. You know what I mean? This CHROMESKULL is like somewhere else doing nothing, like getting ready, and then he just gets upset because he has to catch his own fish, as he says, arguing with Preston. And like there's a weird flashback where he walks into a room, and I guess he sees this doctor standing. I believe it might be his mother or something. And then that's, I believe, the same corpse that we see later on that he kisses on the lips. And the girl's like, giving him a look, because they're trying to put some corporate edge into this one. It feels like it's like if it's like Laid to Rest, a TV show. Like this is like it feels like it's an episode of something. It doesn't feel like a movie. Like the first one at least feels like some sort of shitty throwaway movie. This feels like it's a TV show, like it's just a stupid episode that you
like a low budget TV.
Yeah, show. Like you need a lot of more lore to fill out the fucking storyline because it doesn't make any fucking sense. And so we got all these dangling storylines with the corporation, which I guess he runs,
and a blind person, that's
a blind woman running around,
come into any point at all.
There's a side story with the police officer.
I couldn't even remember when the guy from the first movie died.
These detectives only have 2 more cops than the characters did in fucking Hellraiser Judgment, because you don't see shit. Like at the very end when they're like. The detectives, they get a call from one of the other detectives. They're like, oh, we found whoever's car, the other cop's car here, right? The other detective's car. Five detectives show up. There's no other fucking police show up. They're at a fucking detective. I mean, that's what police are. The detective's office. Only 5 of them show up. Are you kidding me? And then the FBI, like only 5 FBI people come. This is a guy that FBI have been chasing. 5 FBI guys come out, and then 2 people in their car. I was like, what? What the fuck is this?
It's pretty dumb.
The whole standoff at the end is them in a giant warehouse.
How big is this warehouse? That like you can't hear people slamming on metal gates. And what was
I'm
with all
telling
the
you,
what was with all the knives in the metal gate?
It looks like a warehouse from this porn site called Kink. I'm telling you, that's what.
I don't even know what porn is. I've never looked at it before.
It's just dangling storylines. Like at least the acting is better in this film because the lead isn't the same girl's not in this movie.
It's very inconsistent acting. Like for the very last shot after the credits, the actress she's terrible. Like it's only like 5 seconds, but she's like really not good.
Oof.
And there's just like random people who suck. The first movie, the producer is like not a good actress. No offense to her, she's very.
I didn't even understand how Tommy died in this one, like, because he got stabbed in the back, right? And then he cuts Chrome Balls' like back. He starts stabbing Chrome Balls in the neck, and then he just then Chrome Skull like puts him on a table, and then he just like passes out. And I was like, is that he just died? Like, is that
maybe there was a knife on the table, or I don't know.
Because then Chrome Skull doesn't like do something like.
How does Chrome Skull? I mean, look.
Chrome Skull doesn't like tear his head off.
The other day I was working and I nailed my knee really hard into a fucking metal thing that like I just banged it into, and I had to sit on the ground for like a full minute and like recover before I was limping the rest of the night. How is this guy able to get stabbed and shot?
I don't know. I mean,
and slammed in the head a million times. Has a baseball bat in his head. Like all these things, and he's still like perfectly fine.
I don't know. I have no clue. Like, and then I didn't like that they showed his face like without the mask on. I thought they like you need that sort of mystery of this guy's face. Obviously, they want to show him because they want to show like a mutated, monstrous face. Like that'll look scary. It didn't look scary. He looked funny. He looked like Uncle Fester and shit. He looked stupid.
I actually liked that, but like.
And he was like,
all the effects are really, really good.
Yeah, the effects are fantastic, but it doesn't worth. It isn't worth shit when the storyline doesn't mean anything. Like it's just stupid. Like they spent all this time worrying about fucking Preston wanting to be Chrome Face, when they could have just had Chrome Skull killing people. Like that's what you want to see the movie for. You don't want to hear. You don't want to see fucking, like, what is it like tactics of a fucking corporation. Like who gives a shit about any of that stuff? Like you see the girl like
they don't explain the reasons though.
They show they show the who's the girl Span Daniel Harris. Yeah. He's like do you really trust him now? Who gives a fuck about her? Like I don't care about her. Like what are you trying to build? You're trying to build some fucking huge thing with this. That's why it became Saw, because then
do you think they're gonna make stuff. Do you think they're gonna make another sequel?
The reason why I saw these two is because they're making a third one. Well, you asked. They're making. It's called Chrome Skull Exhumed, because he doesn't even get like a. Yeah, I know. He doesn't even get killed. They're trying to say it'll be the best out of all of them. When I'm like, okay, that's not that hard to film.
I think the first one is probably going to be
because he doesn't even get a proper kill in this film. You know what I mean? At least the first one, that was a proper kill. Like he was just like fucked up. But now they've made him very mortal. That's the problem. He's very mortal. He's a rich businessman, which is fine. That's an interesting thing to go with. But how many times can you do that? Make a bunch of Chrome Skulls. Make Chrome Skull a black guy. Make him interesting. Who gives a fuck? He's not doing anything interesting in the movie. And like. What, they shoot him at the bottom of like a basement. That's it.
And for some reason, everybody leaves the room. Takes him down. But then he escapes somehow. How does he escape?
If I was that cop, I would have shot his feet. Like I would have just kept shooting him in the feet.
Cut his feet off or something, right?
Yeah, that's it. Why don't people do that? Do smart shit. Shoot him in the feet. Cut his feet right the fuck off.
Feet, my foot's bleeding. Why?
Quentin Tarantino heard that. He's like, I heard somebody's feet.
He wakes up with a boner.
And
looks around. I don't know. Like this is just sniffing like a dog.
This is they try to make this some sort of deep lore, and it's dog shit. Like I was trying to say, like I like dumb horror movies. Like a dumb horror movie can be great. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this is like a stupid horror movie. It's like stupid. The second one's bad. The first one is a dumb horror movie, which is enjoyable.
It's like you know what it is? It's just forgettable.
It is,
which is the worst thing a horror movie could be. But I'd rather it be really bad.
It's not forgettable when it's bad. That's the problem. I think it's bad enough where I'm like, ugh, what a stupid movie. I'll just think about that later on.
No, but I'm going to forget it. Like, I guarantee you I will forget it.
No, that's a good thing. Well, you forgot episodes that we've actually recorded, so it's pretty funny. It's pretty easy for you. I remember all these shitty movies.
I'm thankful that I have the ability to repress memories.
But you're gonna wake up one day thinking of like a guy in a Santa Claus suit fingering your butthole. You're like, hey, wait a minute. Anyway,
I'll have like a hypnosis session at a therapist, and all these movies will come streaming back, and I'll just break down in tears.
Oh my god. So once again, the CHROMESKULL look is great. He's not really compelling as a monster. Like, he looks fine, but he's not doing anything specifically interesting. Yeah. I can't pinpoint what Jason or Michael Myers do. Obviously, what Freddy does, you can tell what he does. But there's the way that Jason and Michael, it's really the way you frame the bad guy in these movies is what really makes it cool. He just looks like some kind of corporate asshole walking around with a mask on. That's it. So that kind of takes away the mystery from the character, and it sucks. And the acting's decent. I guess you said the wife sucks at the end. I didn't watch it.
I mean, it's quick. I feel bad, too. But
Thomas Dekker, I thought was good in the film. Tommy, the kid who plays Tommy.
Yeah, he's good.
He's good. Everybody's fairly good in this film. Even Preston, the asshole character, is good. So I was like, I didn't really watch 90210, and I thought Brian Austin Green was pretty good.
When we rate this, are we rating the combination of both?
No, we rate the first one and the second one. So, Laid to Rest, I would give it a 6 out of 10. Oh my god, I gotta remember what that movie was about. 6 out of 10. Your wife warning you not to sneak into the bedroom of this young nubile woman you just brought in, and instead of doing that, you just go into the living room and talk with her, and then you end up seeing your wife getting her head chopped off, or get stabbed in the side of the head. Excuse me. And the second one, Laid to Rest, CHROMESKULL, Laid to Rest 2. I'll give it a 5 out. No. I'll give it a 5 out of 10 because it has good special effects. Okay. 5 out of 10. Having a guy walk in after you're getting some soda from a vending machine and fucking up your life for the rest of your life.
Okay. I'm gonna give the first movie a 6. I agree, a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
6 out of 10. Not knowing how to speak randomly, only when it matters do you not know how to speak. Dead box.
He's gonna make me dead.
I was in the dead box, but other than that, she's like perfectly fine. But
yeah,
and just doing the stupidest things you could do in a horror movie, stealing a car by yourself.
She probably thought she was giving an Oscar-worthy performance if somebody who was injured. But go ahead.
In any case, I'm sad I didn't see her boobs, but and then the second one, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10.
That's awesome.
I can't even think of anything worth saying. A 4.
Getting a tattoo?
Oh yeah, 4 out of 10. Somehow having the perfect timing where you can have people tied up and then run out, find a tattoo artist who has the exact design you want, get it tattooed, shave your head, and then come back. And
that's the thing. That said, he did tell him to do that. He said, "Go find something sharp to hit me over the head with it."
To go find a tattoo artist and you have the tattoo design all ready to go.
That was astonishing. That was.
Here's the tattoo artist, the design all ready to go. And
that
everything.
Was astonishingly bad. And that little weapon that he made up, the 6-sided throwing star shit.
Yeah.
Which was cool, but they should have made it so that it was able to close and open up like a fucking... You know what? I'm overthinking this piece of shit movie. With that, Danny, what's the final word?
FBI.
The horror deconstruction.